we have a presentation about the 5 growth strategies that survived the iOS apocalypse. How to adapt your marketing initiatives to compensate for last year's Facebook and iOS shenanigans. Here joining us from Fat Bullfrog is Jeremiah Allen. Jeremiah is an advisor and coach who helps small to medium-sized e-commerce companies drive growth. He has been doing this since 1997, before the internet was cool, and has made hundreds of company founders incredibly, stupidly wealthy, and hopefully maybe some future wealth right here in this room. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us from the great state of Utah, give it up for Jeremiah Allen.
Hey, everybody. Wow. You know, I've got to say thank you to all of the speakers up to now. Everybody else before me has been like a vendor. They're one of the sponsors. And I am so grateful that it wasn't like a pitch fest. You know, you come to these events and the vendors always have the thing to sell. So thank you. Like really, all of you guys, thank you very much. My clients use many of the tools that have been talked about here today. And I was worried that they were going to like embarrass me with all the pitching. Anyhow, I don't have anything to sell you. But what I want to talk to you about today is the disaster that happened probably to all of us starting about a year ago. It was a year ago that Facebook started changing attribution windows on us and all those kinds of things to be able to get ready for all the stuff that was coming down the pipe with excuse me, with iOS 14.5. Everything started getting crazy. And at that time, many of us were like this guy right here, where he's like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? And you and I know what this guy's thinking, right? He's like, oh my goodness, how are we going to fix Facebook, right? Everything was broken. Everything was bad. It was difficult. It was for me too. I'm Jeremiah Allen. As he mentioned, I'm an investor. I'm an advisor. I help small to medium-sized companies to be able to grow. That's what I do. And so, but I got to tell you first, this headshot here, I've got to explain it. My daughter is 5, and she says that my regular corporate headshot is just a little bit too like fat old guy, right? And she's like, we got to do this a little bit better. So she edited, oh, I'm standing right in front of it. Look at that. So you got to see this. So this is her creation. She is 5. This is Cordelia, by the way. She's 5 years old. She is a photographer. She's a daughter. So if any of you are looking to add to your creative teams, let me know. I can set up an interview, call for you. But anyhow, we're expecting baby number 5 in June. Really cool. So our oldest is 15. He just got done swimming at the state finals for in Utah, where we live. Kids are fun, right? And so much, I tell you this, not just to make you go, oh, she's so cute, but she is adorable. Let's look at that. My goodness. She looks like her mother, not me. And kids and families and people are why we do so many things. I put up the picture of this cute little 5-year-old, and everybody in here, even the grumpiest people, were like, oh, right? Yeah, we have an emotional response when we see things like this. And what we're going to talk about today has to do with those emotional responses and creating connections. Now, I didn't put her on here to be able to make you like me more, but if that happens as a result of you seeing this pretty face, I'm okay with it, right? As marketers, as entrepreneurs, as creators, one of our jobs is to give people emotional responses, right? They're going to have emotional responses to the things we do. So when everything started happening last year, all my clients turned to me and they're like, whoa, what's up? And of course, I was optimistic. I get paid to be an optimist. I'm like, there's no need to panic. There's no need to panic, when really there was a lot of reason to panic. And I just didn't know it yet. So I've been doing this since 1997. I ran my first Facebook ad campaigns in 2008. So I've been doing it since nearly the beginning of Facebook ads. I wasn't like advertiser number 1, but a long time. I'd spent years refining my strategy. I had it down. My strategy was one of the best out there. Instead, when I come to speak at events, instead of speaking about what I'm speaking about now, I'd tell you about my great strategy so you could drive all this growth. Well, it was broken. It was horrible. I had always been able to beat the algorithm, and I'd done it better than pretty much anybody else. And I found out, because I went to work trying to beat the new algorithm and all those things, that everything had changed. That my clients were panicked for a reason. They were just panicked because they felt like they needed to be, but there really were some reasons to panic. And I got to tell you, there is nothing more frightening than have spent a career learning something, becoming the best at the something, and then just not being able to figure it out anymore, right? You wonder, am I not good enough? Do I no longer have what it takes? And so it was tough. It was really tough. I felt this massive weight on my shoulders, and I do wish that I could look like that guy, but he lifts more weights than I do. And I had to solve this problem for everyone I work with, right? Everybody. So, I mean, forget about the fact that my livelihood is on the line and I could lose all my clients if I don't solve the problem, but like, I love these people that I work with. I'm trying to solve this for them, and it was my job. And so I tried everything. Maybe you guys have done some of these things. I talked with Facebook reps. I bought courses. I joined groups and forums and lurked to hear what other people would do. I listened to the gurus, and I tested all of it, right? And nobody's stuff was working for me. It was all broken. This new world we were living in was kicking my butt. I used to do that on my trampoline in my backyard as a kid. My friends and I would like practice, wrestling moves on each other. What's that one called? Is that the suplex? I think that's what we called it. I don't know if it's actually what it is, but that's what Facebook did to our industry last year, and iOS and all the other shenanigans. There wasn't even an expensive advisor or consultant I could go hire to solve the problem for me and just tell me what to do. But I'm not a quitter. And so I kept going, and I found the solution. I learned the hard way what we have to do. I dug through all the projects I work on. I dug through all the projects that I still have access to that I no longer work on, right? I dug through everything. I talked to everybody I know, and I figured out what we need to shift. And there's a simple shift that I've been now implementing with my clients that's starting to work. A pattern began to emerge as I dug through all this data and all these different things, and I pieced it together into a new framework. And I've since been applying it in different clients and situations, and it's been evolving. And most of them are thriving again. There's still, I'm not saying everything's perfect. I'm not saying everything's turned to gold, but we got it there. I call it the ecosystem. You got to have a fancy name. Whenever you present on stage, you've got to have a fancy name. And so I was like thinking, do I call it like the Death Ray Marketing Toolkit, right? Or whatever. But really, it boils down to the ecosystem. And I'll explain what that means. If you have been struggling, this is probably why. Since the beginning of Facebook ads, they have told us that we could swipe our credit card into their magical platform, and they would use predictive analytics to target the perfect people, send them to our website, who would then buy our stuff, right? That's the promise. Stick in your credit card, and you're gonna get more money out than you put in, right? And they owned all of it, the whole thing. They had to be able to do all this great predictive analytics stuff. They owned everything from awareness to engagement to promotion to retargeting to ascension. Every part of the customer experience, we abdicated to them. And the reason we did that is because it's easy and we're busy, right? Trying to build our stuff, trying to keep our company alive. So we gave it all to them. And for a while, it even seemed to work. A lot of people made a whole bunch of money. Sunshine, like the revelatory light that we all saw when we figured out Facebook and we figured out how to use it to print money, right? So we believed them. And it kind of went away. Well, fortunately, one company I advise, run by a couple of guys named Tony and Richard, they weren't doing that. They hadn't done that. And the reason why they hadn't done that is because they sell products that Facebook says no to. They're in a category that Facebook restricts, and so they can't promote their stuff directly. They can talk about the topic, but they can't look you in the eye on Facebook and say, buy our stuff, which is what we were all doing successfully before. So their workaround has been to promote quizzes around the topic. Like, the BuzzFeed quizzes, which Harry Potter house do you belong in, those kinds of things. We do that. We run quizzes. People see Facebook ads for the quizzes for years. All of their ads have been quizzes. That's it. We promote quizzes. People come, sign up, take the quiz, get their results, put in their email address to get their results, and start down a well-crafted funnel with a strong back end, and we sell them a whole bunch of stuff, right? And we're able to do that because they are in our ecosystem, not Facebook's. Before, we could rely on Facebook to deliver effective communication to people at the various levels of our funnel. We didn't have to do it ourselves. Tony and Richard did. And it worked. And so I saw that. I was like, wow, these guys are thriving. They have done so well over the last 12 months because they had already unintentionally figured out the new Facebook way, which is to use Facebook as an awareness tool, get people off of Facebook with some sort of an offer that may or may not be to actually buy something, and then put them into our ecosystem. Facebook, meet the brand, provide the experience. Because you got to admit, the experience on Facebook has been getting worse and worse and worse as users, right? I hardly use it anymore. And I'm like the demographic that should be most active on Facebook, and I'm sick of it, right? I still get on, I still do the things, but it's not, the experience is horrible. So the number one pillar number one of the ecosystem is to reclaim your business. It is your company and not Facebook's. This is not about just giving Facebook all of the control and all of the ability with our customers. We want them to be our users. We need to recognize that Facebook to us is a vendor. And as long as they're useful as a vendor, we're going to give them a whole bunch of money. But their usefulness has shifted in a huge way. Now, I know what you're thinking. I'm literally telling you that you ought to consider stopping using Facebook ads and other social media ads and a lot of ads actually currently to manage the whole entire funnel and to just restrict it to awareness level stuff. That's actually what I'm telling you. And that breaks some people's mind. I get it. It's easier than you might think. Tony and Richard are doing it with simple quizzes, a good funnel, and a strong back end. It takes a little bit of work. You got to build the stuff, right? You got to build the quiz. If you need a quiz tool recommendation, I've got a couple I can give you. So you've got to put some stuff together, but you can start and do it bit by bit and get there. It has taken some work, but it's paid off. So the question then becomes, I won't allow you to sit here and tell me, oh, it's going to be hard. Yes, it is. You're running a business, right? Building businesses is hard. So what are you supposed to replace all of that Facebook stuff with, all of the middle of funnel and bottom of funnel stuff? That takes us to ecosystem pillar number 2. You and your company have a gift. Now, I'm going to get philosophical here for a minute. I might even cry because I believe this strongly. I believe that every person born on this planet has a gift. And by a gift, I don't mean something like the ability to sing or being beautiful or whatever, something for them. I mean, everybody born on this planet has something that they can give. Something that they are uniquely qualified to give. For some people, it might be the gift of kindness. For others, it might be the gift of compassion. For others, it might be the gift of, standing on stage and telling funny jokes like our great MC, right? For everybody's got a gift, something that they can give. And I believe that every company has a gift also. Something that they can give to transform the lives of their users. It is your responsibility and mine to figure out what that gift is so that we can give it away. Let me give you an example. Frank and Nikki are clients of mine. They sell singing bowls and other mindfulness products. If you've never used a singing bowl, I'm standing in front of the singing bowls. If you've never used a singing bowl, I invite you to check out singing bowls at some point. They're made from brass. The good ones are made in Nepal by artisans who have been doing this for millennia, thousands of years. And when you play a singing bowl, you hold the bowl in your hand, in your palm, or on a cushion or something like that, and there's a little mallet, and you run the mallet around the outer edge, and it makes these beautiful tones that resonate. You feel them throughout your body. They can become a great aid for meditation or even just focusing. I know people who use them at the start of each day. They'll just play their singing bowl for like a minute, and it's that separation between them and the rest of their day, right? They're going to get to work now. So Frank and Nikki sell singing bowls and other mindfulness products. We went to work on their gift, trying to figure out what it is, and we found that they can help anyone increase peace in their life. And I'm standing in front of the words. I was talking to Christina, and I was like, I'm not going to be self-conscious of the slides behind me like the other speakers have been. And look, here I am, standing in front of my own words. So we found that their gift as people and several members of their team, they can help anybody increase peace in their life. And so their mission shifted, and they want to make it where as many people as possible can go to bed every night with peace in their lives. They're still going to have bills, they're still going to have trials, they're still going to have things to worry about, right? But they'll be able to have peace in their life. So they started giving peace to as many people as possible, regardless of whether or not they buy anything. That's an important component of this. They're giving something to everyone. That's how you start a movement. And it has transformed their business. I'll tell you a little bit more about, I'll give you an example of how they're giving peace to people in just a minute. So ecosystem pillar number 3 is give your gift to as many people as possible. All of the people. Give it to all of the people who want it. Strategy number 1. The presentation was called 5 strategies. Here they are. You only need to worry about the red words. That's all you got to remember from this. Strategy number 1, the Singing Bowl Company produces virtual workshops and seminars. So they'll invite one of their ambassadors who's a breathwork specialist to do an hour-long presentation on breathwork. They still do market singing bowls, but they'll market that workshop or that seminar, or they'll do a seminar on Reiki healing, or they'll do a seminar on, gosh, now I'm just totally drawing a blank, Qigong movement, like all these different things that help people achieve peace. So they've broken their formula for achieving peace down into component parts, and they're giving those component parts away, and they happen to sell singing bowls, which will magnify the effectiveness of all of these things. But you don't have to have a singing bowl to meditate, right? They're going to teach you meditation. If you want a singing bowl to meditate, they sell probably the best ones on the planet, okay? Strategy number 2. A sporting goods company holds a weekly giveaway. They give away a custom baseball glove, $300 custom glove. I know it doesn't cost them $300 to make the glove, right? They drive people into their giveaway, and it's not just that lame giveaway that we've all entered where you've got to put in your email address so they can spam you for a long time, right? They give this thing away weekly because they bring people together on a Facebook Live once a week and have community. A lot of the people who buy their stuff are parents shopping for their kids. And so they'll bring, they've done, they'll talk about like interviews they've done with professional scouts or college scouts, where they'll ask questions like, have you ever turned down a kid, refused to recruit a kid because of the parents, right? Because the parents are jerks or whatever. And they'll talk about that. They'll go into all of these details, right? So they're giving these people connection and community and a glove, which they also happen to sell, and other sporting goods supplies, right? They're giving the gift of helping these parents give their children the tools that they need to play stronger, faster, harder, and better, right? That's the gift that they're giving. And they do it in a fun way with the giveaway, right? That introduces people to their brand. A nutrition company. That's a client of mine that works with postpartum moms and provides nutritional support for things like low milk supply or postpartum depression or hair loss or thinning that moms sometimes deal with. They've started a social media challenge. They are trying to take care of moms. Their gift is to help mom get what she needs, right? One thing that moms, I didn't know this, I'm expecting my 5th child, I should know this by now. Moms, when they've got little kids, skip breakfast. They don't have time for breakfast. They're exhausted. They've got cranky husbands they've got to deal with. They've got children to get out the door. They've got a baby who needs to eat. They skip breakfast, right? So this nutrition company for mom is hosting a 60-day Eat Your Breakfast Mama challenge, right? Where they're teaching moms the importance of good nutrition and inviting them to participate. Now, they also happen to sell overnight oats, and they also happen to sell protein powders that can go in your smoothies, and they also happen to, do you see where I'm going, right? It's not about their product, it's about the transformation that the people want to have and giving your gift so that they can attain it. A health and wellness company I work with hosts daily Facebook Lives, well, 5 days a week, to answer questions, okay? Two of their team are doctors, real, live, honest-to-goodness doctors, right? And they get on, usually it's just one of them, but he gets on and does these Facebook Lives where he talks about whatever's on his mind, trying to help people be more healthy. He might talk about water for a day, for like a whole hour, 45 minutes or whatever. He might talk about how you shouldn't eat sugar and why you shouldn't eat sugar and what happens in your body when you eat too much sugar. He might talk about bacon, right? Like whatever the thing is that's on his mind, that's in his world of providing health and wellness to people from a nutritional standpoint, he gives. He just gives it. People flock to these things. Thousands of people every single day logging on to be able to listen to him talk about whatever the thing is. Oh, and they happen to sell some really good supplements, right? That'll help you if you've got a vitamin B12 deficiency, if your cortisol's too high, those kinds of things, right? See where I'm going? You give and give and give. You become the leading expert in the world at giving your gift. You give it away to as many people as possible, and then you just happen to sell the tools that will help them achieve their desired outcome. A handbag company started hosting VIP in-person events. Thousands, they make handbags. They're expensive handbags. They're really cool. They're like $300, $400, $500 handbags. They're great handbags. People, women, fly from all over the country to these events because the gift that this company is giving is people something to talk about, right? And connect. They're giving a social connection, which has nothing to do with handbags. They're giving, what they're selling is sisterhood. They sell sisterhood through all of their ads, through all of their events, through all of their activities. It's about sisterhood, right? And so it's natural that sisters are going to get together for a pajama party. Hundreds of them, right? At some fancy ski resort up in the mountains somewhere, right? And so they do this. It's about giving the gift. So here's some bonus strategies. I've given you the 5 that work best. Oh, quizzes. I already told you that. Those work well. VIP subscriptions, where, all these gifts that you're giving. The singing bowl company I mentioned, we're actually just about to launch a VIP subscription plan for them. We've gotten such overwhelming response to all of the knowledge gifts that they're giving. People want to be able to pay $15 a month to be able to get even more of it at an even higher level, right? And so they're gonna become the master class of mindfulness, is kind of what we're hoping for, right? And then there'll be an app and there'll be all these other things with the goal of delivering this gift over and over again as effectively as possible. Amazing interaction using tools like Gorgeous, personalization using tools like SearchSpring, right? There's these things that we do to give to people is really what's making a difference. So ecosystem pillar number 4, track like a maniac. Because attribution, in case you hadn't noticed, is broken, okay? It's a dumpster fire, literally. Nothing works. What you have to do, I think, and this is the short version, I could do a whole presentation just on this, you need a first-party service that integrates with your shopping platform and CRM. I like Triple Whale for Shopify. There are other tools out there like Northbeam. There's a couple of really good ones. And what you're essentially doing is you're putting your own cookie on the site to be able to measure everything and then marry it up on the back end. Because like on Facebook, Google Analytics, all the different pixels out there, you don't know if your efforts are resulting in new customers or returning customers, do you? None of them can report on that. But when you take your pixel and you tie it in with your CRM, oh, this ad came from Facebook. The person spent $158.42, just like you can if you look in some of your metrics, but this is a new customer, right? And which ads are actually driving new customers instead of just sales. And you're getting real data instead of the new modeled, I'm not going to say it, the stuff that that they're trying to sell us today, right? At Facebook and other ad platforms. Then what you do is you take all that information and you put it into every point in your CRM. I like Klaviyo. One of the reasons I like Klaviyo, great presentation, by the way, brother, thank you, is when somebody comes along and enters a 40-day challenge for February 2022, what I'm able to do is I'm able to create a profile property for that person where I say, did they enter challenge 2022-02? Yes or no? When did they enter it? And what I can do then is once I've tagged them like that and tagged them like that in Klaviyo, I can now attribute every dollar they spent to that specific activity, right? To the fact that and you've got to do it using the newer advanced reports that Klaviyo came out with, and I do have a request or two for those that I'll talk to you about later. But you can then say, okay, well, people who are what's the total value of all the placed orders for people who are tagged with that entered in the first 7 days of the month, right? And then I know, wow, I spent $1,000 promoting that day. By day 30, I'd brought out $3,000. Is this a good decision or a bad, right? And I can tie it exactly to every effort. So what I like to do is make it where every single entry point into a CRM, Klaviyo or otherwise, has very clear data that I can pull out because it's my ecosystem, your ecosystem. It's not Facebook's, it's not Klaviyo's ecosystem. Klaviyo's a tool for us, and they're a really good one, but it's ours, and we have to own it, okay? Ecosystem pillar number 5, scale what works. That's the no-brainer. But the problem is, up to now, for the last year, it's harder and harder to find things that are working, okay? As you do this, I promise you, it will change your customers, it will change your business, and it will change you. It will absolutely make a difference. Identify what your gift is, give it away to as many people as possible, and magical things will happen. You will look so good to your customers, to your bosses, to your shareholders, to your spouses, whoever it is you're trying to impress, they will be impressed. I promise you, it will change you. It'll change everything. If you have any questions at all, there's my cell phone number and my email address. Just reach out. I'll help however I can. I'm just gonna, ask me questions. This isn't a pitch, okay? I take on new clients, but not often, okay? So if you do want to talk about getting some things answered, like I'm happy, any of you who just want to chat, get some questions answered, figure out how to get stuff going in your business, I'm not going to try and pitch you or sell you or anything. I literally want to help you, okay? My gift is that I can figure out these kinds of problems. I'm here today to try and give it to you. I'm trying to give it to as many of you who want it. I'm sharing case studies. They only gave me a half an hour. If you need more information, reach out. I will teach you, and I will give and give and give. It changes me, it'll change you, and it'll change your companies. Now that I've told you that, they have also asked me to host a panel where two brands are going to be able to come up here, and we're going to be able to ask them some questions and find out how these and other things are working in their companies.